And what's up, YouTubes? How's it going for you today? Hopefully you guys are doing very, very well on this May 25th of the year 2017. And this is pretty much the sort of the last video of the day that I will be doing something Star Wars related to. And this is Star Wars Battlefront 2 that was released back in 2005. This thing was for the PC, the original Xbox, as well as the PS2, I believe, as well. And pretty much that's relatively it. I'm recording this with post-commentary since this is a video that's going to be about a little over 3.5 hours long. And I'm not going to talk through most of it, but I'm going to let the guy talk.
My first day as a member of the 501st. It was hot, it was sandy, chaotic. Nothing at all like the simulations on Kamino. Of course, that's pretty much the way it was for all of us, wasn't it? All that breeding, all those years of training. It doesn't really prepare you for all the screaming or the blood, does it? Frankly, I'm still amazed we ever made it through the first hour. Never mind the first day.
Your simulation days are over, Trooper. This is a real battle. And if you mess up, you'll really end up in a world of pain. Now get out there. Some activity has been reported in the vicinity of Checkpoint Alpha. Get there and secure the area.
Alright, so pretty much what I'm going to be doing for the next 3.5 hours is pretty much talking about Star Wars in general,
Take them out before they can
40-year
report our
anniversary
position.
of the first movie being released. Actually, no, did I say 30? 40, excuse me. 40th anniversary of the first Star Wars movie being released, and that would be the original titled Star Wars. Also would later be renamed as Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope.
Nice work, clone. Let's hope those scouts didn't get word back to their army. Now, finish off that damaged Hellfire droid using your thermal detonators.
Alright, so pretty much what I'm gonna be doing while I'm talking is pretty much just me. Pretty much the game mode that I'm doing is pretty much the Rise of the Empire.
The droid army is headed
kind
this
of the
way.
story.
Capture the downed Techno-Union ship to secure a stronger
behind
foothold for our troops.
The vision of the Grand Army of the Republic, and eventually the Galactic Empire's division, the 501st, which would be in some pretty intense battles.
Go to the downed Techno-Union ship and switch to the engineer class at the command post there.
Would overall be one of the more celebrated fighting units in the Star Wars universe.
Now use your fusion cutter to
And they would
repair
have
the house
eventually
and
also
ammo
later
droid.
be called Vader's Fist, due to the fact that Darth Vader would eventually be personal bodyguard of Fire
CIS have sent in a column of
Darth
spider
Vader.
walkers. Get to the ATT clone and make it fast.
So
Now take one of those walkers down before they do some serious damage.
Hop on that vehicle there and try to destroy the spider walkers there. And with engineer class, pretty much it's you get that instant healing to your vehicle due to the fact that you're an engineer. Kind of more of the backbone of any army, which pretty much, as you saw in pretty much the first part of the video, I was pretty much the soldier, the grunt so to speak. Yeah, pretty much just gonna really just talk about Star Wars in general, how I got to enjoy Star Wars eventually as I was a kid.
On top of the Techno Union ship.
Talk about the
Use a
films,
command
talk
post
about
to
some
switch
of
to the Jet Trooper class.
that's probably just Star Wars in general, I guess. About relatively 3.5 hours to kill, so I could probably just BS my way through it, but this is Star Wars. It's supposed to be pretty grand.
Now use your jump jets to get up there and acquire that hologram and bring it back to checkpoint Alpha. Who knows what secrets
One of my more favorite classes is kind of like the specialized character. For the Separatists, it's the Droidica. For the Republic, it's the Jet Trooper.
The CIS are holed up in the cliff bunker. Get up there and take
Rebels,
over that
it's
post.
the
It will give us a strong vantage point on the battlefield.
The Wookiee, and then I think they're both in Spy, I believe, as well. And then the Galactic Empire. There's like the Dark Trooper. That's essentially the carbon copy of the Jet Trooper, but pretty much like a quick burst of energy through your jetpack and stuff, and then there's something else too, but I want to say it'd be like the
We need some snipers to pick off some
Imperial
droids
engineer
and help thin out the CIS forces.
I'm pretty sure
Grab a
that's
sniper rifle and take out some
wrong
droids.
unto itself, but let's see here. Let's essentially try to get some more health since those droids do pack quite a bit of a punch. Which, by the way, this gameplay moment here has been the only time that I would actually ever use the sniper class. So if you're looking to see how well I'm good with a sniper rifle, this is probably the closest thing that you'll ever get to seeing it. Also because you only have so many
Those spider
reinforcements
walkers are tearing us to ribbons.
to do
Get to a CP and switch to the heavy trooper class.
stuff, but I do tend to
Take your
use
rocket launcher and give one of those spiders a taste of some heavy fire.
anti-vehicle class with a rocket launcher and stuff, but so I run out of rockets to do stuff with. Blow up. But this Geonosis battle is really just this is really more of a tutorial of how the game works. Of course, if you've actually played the first
Master
Battlefront
Windu has
game,
arrived on the battlefield. A lightsaber will come in handy against these droids. Let's knock down the CIS reinforcements a bit.
Really, essentially, this is just something not really new, but the hero class is something that this game did bring to the table, which was very nice to do. Instead of fighting alongside Vader, you could actually be Darth Vader. Or if you want to be Luke Skywalker, you can be Luke Skywalker, or so forth. for this battle, you get to be Mace Windu, and then there's certain heroes that you can choose to be. Yeah, not too shabby. And I actually did this recording really in all one sitting. I got started on it about around 8 p.m. 8 p.m. my time. Then I finished it sometime around.
We have to push the CIS back, take over their bunker to the north.
So pretty good, solid recording.
Target acquired.
The fact that I actually managed to beat this story mode in that relatively quick of time. It's quite impressive. Quite impressive indeed. More of these droids keep coming around here.
Good job. May the Force be with you.
Get pretty close to the end of... Yep, there we go. That's the end of the tutorial.
Incredibly, the 501st survived the crucible of Geonosis, emerging battle-hardened and ready for whatever the war would throw at us.
Alright. Yeah, I very much won't really go through the briefing stuff. It's not really all that necessary. Alright, so now we're pretty much going to get into the first mission in the Rise of the Empire, Mygeeto, which I did skip the opening music, the famous opening music of Star Wars.
In the waning months of the Clone Wars, the 501st faced missions critical to the agenda of Chancellor Palpatine. When we arrived at the bombed-out ruins of Mygeeto, our Jedi commander believed we had been sent to take out a droid energy collector. What Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't know, however, was that our unit of the 501st was really after an experimental Mygeetan power source that the Chancellor wanted for his super laser. Keeping Mundi in the dark wasn't easy. The Jedi had become increasingly wary of the Chancellor's doings, and were on the lookout for the slightest hint of treachery. Just like the rest of them, though, he never caught whiff of what was really going on until it was far too late.
Alright, pretty much relatively easy mission here.
All right, men. Today's target is an energy collector on the northern section of the platform. If we can take it down, production facilities in the area will grind to a halt. Let's move them out. The enemy's forward command post is on the other side of this bridge. We'll have to capture it before moving on.
As usually, the first mission is usually always is in a game.
Take out that battle droid! Let's turn this place into a scrap pile.
Really stated before we have to go get a energy collector, which is on the far end of the platform. And in order to go through there, we have to achieve specific jetpack those to gain such knowledge. And that's probably the first time I actually died. First time I died in this playthrough. I'm pretty sure I didn't die during the Geonosis campaign.
On your 6.
Yep, and this place got pretty much all destroyed and messed up.
We've got droids! Roger that.
So I do have friendly fire on. So pretty much anything that hurts my allies pretty much will definitely hurt my allies, so like right there. I don't know if I didn't get the minus for that kill or not. There was one problem I had with the
Well done,
playthrough
man.
of this game.
Now we need to make some space
You know,
for General
in
Mundi to
general,
land.
it's
Take out those turrets and clear the deck.
gotta talk again. The AI, especially the allies' AI, is not the most intelligent, so to speak.
One more to go.
Pretty much the AI will let quite a few enemies pass their sight and just forget that, oh hey, we're soldiers, we're supposed to attack the enemy and not bother
Before we can begin our assault on the energy collector,
bother to kill
we
them.
have to get past the shield barricade. Get behind the shield and take out the generator.
So we get the Adil Moody, the Jedi Masters. For most of these Republic battles against the Separatists, you actually get to be the Jedi Master who gets to help the Republic army. It's just like the Revenge of the Sith.
Capture the CP will serve as an excellent
You
lookout
get
point for our
Mygeeto,
mission.
you get this guy, Utapau, you get Kenobi, Felucia, you get, God, what was that, Jedi Master. There's a woman too, I can't remember her name, but anyway. Then Kashyyyk, you get Yoda as well, so I thought that was pretty cool. They include that in the movies.
Super battle droid! Take him down!
Listen up. Before we can begin our assault on the SEP's energy collector, we have to penetrate their shield barricades. So load up and move out.
Alright, I'll stop the narration here for just a bit here. I'll be back sometime around only the 45th minute. We'll talk about how I got into Star Wars as a young child.
Take down the core shield by destroying the generator.
Chancellor! Save it for the enemy! Take out that battle droid! Take out that silver! Enemies down! Get off!
The shields are down. Let's take out the core. Good work. Now collect the core samples and return them to the dropship on the other side of the bridge. Now take the crystals back to the dropship.
Battle droid! On your six.
Sir, I can see the dropship.
Nicely done, gentlemen. Your work here today has made the Chancellor a very happy man.
The success of the mission on Mygeeto was something of a revelation for the men of the 501st. Suddenly, we realized that the Jedi could be fooled. And if they could be fooled, they could be killed. As the Clone Wars progressed, more and more ground-based legions found themselves pressed into space combat, including the fighting forces of the 501st. For months, every hour of our downtime was spent in the simulator, preparing for the time we would face our enemies from the cockpit of a 170. Finally, the day came to earn our wings. The CIS had staged a daring kidnapping of Chancellor Palpatine, and was being escorted from Coruscant by a fleet of separatist ships. With only a few veteran pilots on planet, many of the 501st were pressed into service to drive off the Seps and buy time for a pair of Jedi Knights to rescue the Chancellor.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
Pilots and Marines, get to your ships. The Jedi are depending on you. Incoming fighters, take them out.
Tri-fighter, after him! Go after that bomber! Take down that bomber! Track that tri-fighter! Don't let that tri get away! Track that tri-fighter! Go after that bomber! Attack that bomber!
We've got a banking clan ship acting as a frigate for the droids. Destroy it.
Attention, Victor Echo 1-2. Come in. Repeat. Victor Echo 1-2.
Tri-fighter, on your tail! We've got vultures!
Pilots, focus your fire on the main CIS ships. We need their shields down as quickly as possible.
Attention, all pilots report to the hangar area. They're trying to land their troops!
Control to pilots. Prep your ships for battle.
Vulture in the sky! Droid Starfighter right behind you. Attention all pilots! Attention all pilots! Prepare for assault! Attention all pilots! Attention all pilots! Prepare for assault!
Take down the droid communications array. That'll give you an opening.
Attention all pilots! Attention all pilots! Prepare for assault! Attention, clear the hangar area. Repeat, clear the hangar area. Attention, all pilots report to the hangar area.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Finish off that bomber! What? Tri-fighter, after him!
Well done. Now that they're in disarray, fly into their hangar and land. Be careful.
Watch your tail!
Bomber incoming. Repeat, bomber incoming.
Tri-fighter, on your tail! Attack that bomber! Attention, clear the hangar area. Repeat, clear the hangar area.
Use rockets or time bombs to destroy the internal systems.
Go after that bomber! Attention, clear the hangar area. Repeat, clear the hangar area. Advance the attack.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
Finish off that bomber! We've got fighters! Don't let that trotter get away! Attention, all second stage pilots on deck. Tri-fighter, after him! Check your flank!
Now, grab a fighter and destroy the bridge of the enemy cruiser.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck. Chase down that scout!
Well done, gents. With flying like that, the Republic is well on its way to victory.
After disabling the final capital ship, General Kenobi and Skywalker took advantage of the opportunity we'd created and rescued the Chancellor. Took all the credit, too. It's been said that the 501st got the best of the war. We also got the worst. On Felucia, the Seps dug their metal heels into the muck of that alien hellhole and dared the Republic to come in after them. So we did. Only to be met with the month after month of flesh-eating diseases, shrieking nocturnal predators, and other sights that haunt me to this day. Cut off and for all we knew, abandoned by our superiors. Our only hope was Ayla Secura, our Jedi commander. Without her iron will, none of us would have come out of that mess with our sanity or our lives. When her death came, I hope it was quick. She earned that much.
Our forward unit is under attack by some kind of creatures. Get up there and give them some support.
What is that thing? These things are everywhere! Where are they? Oh no, they're all dead!
This ATTE is out of commission.
Movement to the north!
Here they come. Wipe out these creatures before they rip our unit apart.
Friendly fire! Don't provoke it!
Those things are tough to take down. 2 more to go. Nice work. Just one more. CIS units have been detected moving in this direction. Defend the ATTE until Jedi Master Sakuda arrives.
Ammo, health. Take out that battle droid! Super battle droid! Take him down! Aim it for the enemy! Right behind you. They sent in the supers! Battle droid, knock him down! Take out that battle droid! One shot, one kill.
Ayla Sakuda has landed. A Republic gunship crashed in the brush near here. Acquire its power cell and bring it back to reactivate the ATTE.
Sakura, how can I help? Keep going!
Roger that. You got it. Copy that.
Nice work. The ATTE has been reactivated. The CIS offensive is being mounted from the fungal tree to the south. Advance on their base of operations there and take out their primary defense turrets.
Watch your side!
Nice work. The Separatists' assault on Felucia has been severely crippled. We have them on the run.
When the 501st was finally rotated out of Felucia, Ayla Sakuda made a point of seeing us off personally, calling us the bravest soldiers she'd ever seen. It's a good thing we were wearing helmets, because none of us could bear to look her in the eye. When the Separatists' invasion of Kashyyyk caught the Republic flat-footed, a detachment of the 501st was sent in to stop the bleeding until reinforcements could arrive. It was a textbook suicide mission, and we knew it. As we fought our way into Kashyyyk's atmosphere, most of us believed that the only way we'd be getting off this planet was in a body bag.
Attention, Victor Echo 1-2, come in. Repeat, Victor Echo...
The droids have put up a blockade around Kashyyyk. If we're going to punch through, we'll need to weaken their forces. Pilots, focus your attacks on their support ships.
Bomber incoming. Repeat, bomber incoming.
Don't let that try get away. Chase down that scout. Chase down that scout.
One more.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Right behind you.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill.
Track that TIE fighter. Engage that fighter. Take out that fighter. Chase down that scout.
Their ship guns are pounding our shields. Take out those heavy turrets.
We've got fighters.
One more.
Hey guys, I'm back again. Pretty much as I said, I would talk more.
You picked up a
Something
try.
around the 45th minutes or so of this video. And pretty much what I'm going to be talking about is kind of how I got into Star Wars as a child.
Well done, pilot. Head back to the hangar for your next objective.
Whatnot. And
Watch your tail.
well, pretty much the way that I got into
Bomber incoming. Repeat,
Cool.
bomber incoming.
thing was Star Wars was pretty much the my parents they actually recorded recorded. It was the original.
Pilot, we
It
need
was
you to
the-
take
what
an LAAT into
would
the
be
enemy
the
hangar,
original trilogy.
landed, and destroy the ship's
The
internal
first three
systems.
films, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and so forth. Recorded on a VHS portable thing that's was, I believe it was on, network it was on at that time. I think it was on USA. Yeah, this thing was on USA, if I remember correctly. This was probably like way back in the early 90s. Pretty much really way before George Lucas decided to make the changes, kind of like the CGI changes that would eventually be somewhat infamous rather. And kind of really just essentially watch those films really relatively a lot. If I honestly do remember.
All right, troopers, make your
first-
way to their critical systems
first
and
one I
destroy
really
their fuel
watched
and life
was,
support systems.
Return of the Jedi. Really understand the gist of it at the time. I thought, oh, cool, lightsabers. Ooh, cool. How amazing is that? And eventually I got into watching A New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back as well. And really it wasn't until pretty much around the time when Episode 1 came out until we actually got the official VHS release of the original trilogy itself. And pretty much that included the CGI works that George Lucas decided to put in. And then pretty much by 1999, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out in theaters, and it
Command
was
has an easy mission, pilot. Grab the enemy's
probably
battle
at
plan
that time.
holocron and bring it back to our hangar.
I think it was around 10 years old at the time. I thought this was probably the coolest thing ever. I enjoyed Star Wars at the time. It was quite interesting, but it really wasn't until Phantom Menace that really cemented my interest in Star Wars pretty much the rest of my life. And I thought, oh man, yeah, pretty much green lightsabers are quite cool. The Force, being able to force push people around was just such an amazing experience. I'm pretty
Bomber
sure.
incoming. Repeat, bomber incoming.
I'm pretty sure I went back to that specific theater. Because here I am doing a big fail. I couldn't figure out how to land the damn thing. But and of course,
Bomber incoming. Repeat, bomber incoming.
by 2000, my father would pass away. But a lot of things kind of lost my interest at that particular time, but not really Star Wars for some odd reason. I love sports really kind of descended back into kind of a non-interesting topic for me at that particular time. It wouldn't be really until about 5 years later when I would actually start to get back to watching that. Watching that.
Attention in the hangar. Scramble all reinforcements. Roger, roger.
I think probably one of the more first if you're going to talk about Star Wars, pretty much kind of have to talk about the games, like PC games, video games, etc. First one I probably ever got was for, I think it was for my birthday. I actually got, I can't remember if it was like 2019.
All hands to battle stations. Repeat. All hands to battle stations.
The PC version. I think it was only the PC version of that particular game. I got the official video game of the Phantom Menace.
Well done, man. Now let's get down there and liberate Kashyyyk.
Pretty much at that time, of course, I thought it was probably one of those coolest things ever. Probably one of the most coolest games ever, but eventually I grew.
As the 501st finally
older.
broke through the Sith blockade over Kashyyyk, I took a long look back at the battle that continued to rage over the planet and wondered why so many had to die for a bunch of walking carpets. Then I followed my orders and turned planetward.
But yeah, pretty much. Eventually, as I grew older, I kind of realized how much of a not great game it was. But that was probably the first game that I ever really played. I mean, I saw, let this guy talk
When
again.
we arrived on Kashyyyk, things were just as bad as we feared. The droids had us outgunned, outmaneuvered, and outmanned by a 5-to-1 margin. What none of us had counted on was the Wookiees. We'd all heard the stories, of course, but we'd never fought next to them. Never seen them rip apart a droid with their bare hands. They were magnificent. Even so, it was still a suicide mission. At least it was until Master Yoda arrived. Then it became a battle. A winnable battle.
That was that, and then pretty much
This is it, man.
2000.
We have to hold this beachhead until reinforcements arrive. No retreats,
Attack
no
the
excuses.
Clones came out in theaters. Didn't really think much of it. Pretty much, I was like 13 at the time when it came out.
We've got staff.
I didn't really. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool to actually have another Star Wars movie out to add to the legacy of what Star Wars at that particular moment. But it was overall a really great movie. In general, but that. I did some of the acting in it wasn't really all that great. Pretty much Natalie Portman really kept that movie from being such a waste of time, such a waste of investment of time and money. But I don't know, it was fine, I suppose.
Shooting trooper.
And then I think it was like sometime around 2004. Finally kind of got around to actually convinced my mom to buy me a Xbox, original Xbox. And eventually, one of the games that I really wanted to really sink my teeth into was the first Battlefront game, which, in my personal opinion, is personally it's a little bit better than the second one, which I'm playing right now, but unfortunately Steam doesn't have that particular game out. Certain aspects like space battles, the story mode, I definitely say that Battlefront 2 beats out Battlefront 1, but some of the gameplay of it's definitely the first one has that moniker as well. And the next closest game after that was probably
Fall back behind the seawall. We must protect the
Knights
Wookiee
of
base.
the Old Republic, the first one. And I thought that was really cool as well. It was essentially what I envisioned what a Star Wars game should be. Pretty much you really get to customize your character, you get to choose
We must defend the
whether
oil
you want to
refinery
be
at all
Jedi
costs.
or Sith,
If we don't,
good or
this whole
bad.
place is going to blow.
And pretty much every single choice that you do decide to make here will definitely impact the galaxy itself. And I've done Jedi and Sith in that game. Never really did Sith in the second one, Sith Lord. I don't know. I could try it out, but anyway. So that was out as well.
They've breached the sea wall. Brace yourselves.
And then 2005 comes around, and then the third film in the prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith, comes out. I will definitely say this is kind of predictable to pretty much to a very certain degree, because A, you knew that Anakin Skywalker would eventually become Darth Vader, and that Padme would eventually die, then Luke and Leia would be born, and all that stuff, and then how the droids would eventually be put into service on the Tantive 4, I think, that one ship that would be in the first scene of the fourth film. That would be probably my personal opinion, but the best one in the prequel trilogy. And I eventually kind of grew sour with Phantom Menace after quite a while. I still definitely put Phantom Menace at pretty much at number 2. Attack of Clones at 3. There was just so much hype for pretty much the Phantom Menace at that particular time, and it just
Reinforcements are being depleted.
safe to say pretty much it kind of was a bomb. If I remember right, it did make quite a bit of money, but it was nowhere near the hype that it should have been. And I get that Star Wars is George Lucas's child, its creator, but probably the best thing that could really have ever happened to those prequel movies is have someone other than Lucas direct it. Just look at Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. those movies were not directed by Lucas, even though the fourth one, New Hope, was directed by Lucas himself. That's anyway. Then, sometime around later that year, this game would come out, as well as a sequel to Knights of the Old Republic, Sith Lords. I'm doing a playthrough of that right now, especially the
Way to
Sith
hold them back, man.
Lords.
Now let's push forward and send them packing.
Even though that game was definitely rushed into getting released. Thus the necessity of having restored content. The restored content mod, which features quite a bit of stuff that the game's creators would have included if they had enough time to do it. So that was that, and then there was pretty much that lull period between 2005 and 2015. Pretty much that 10-year gap between the third episode and the 7th episode. And I don't really remember a whole lot of things Star Wars related at that particular moment that I really thought was great. I went to college in the 7. Even then, pretty much Spike had their own Star Wars marathon. Pretty much it seemed like every single weekend. It would feature either a prequel trilogy or the original trilogy itself. Which I'll definitely state my opinion on that as well. Overall, I think The Empire Strikes Back is probably my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. It's definitely much more darker than overly optimistic New Hope, even though I do enjoy that as well as Return of the Jedi. But definitely hard to rank those two as well. There are at times when I definitely am in the mood for Return of the Jedi or A New Hope as well, but personally I would say probably Return of the Jedi second, then New Hope for third. Yeah. But I never got to see the original trilogy in its first release. Pretty much by the time I was born in 1988.
Republic can't spare any more reinforcements.
Return of the Jedi was at least about 5 years old. So definitely not.
Great work, troops. Kashyyyk lives to fight another day.
Definitely something that you won't really bring a newborn into. At least not yet at that point.
With the timely arrival of Master Yoda, the 501st was able to hold the line against the Seps on Kashyyyk. We left as heroes. Years later, we'd return as conquerors.
Let's see what was this one? Utapau. Getting pretty relatively close to the end of the Republic.
In our bones, we knew the war was almost over. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see which side would make the final daring move. As fortune would have it, the Republic moved first. After the Chancellor informed the Jedi Council that General Grievous and the Sith leaders were hiding on Utapau, General Kenobi gathered an army large enough to capture 3 star systems. When the orders reached the 501st, our morale soared. For better or worse, this would be the beginning of the end.
There is a 2-story building just a bit southwest of your position. Assault that command post.
We've got droids! Super battle droids!
Yeah, overall ranking.
Capture the CP. Will serve as an excellent lookout point for our mission.
Were pretty much 5, 6, 4, 3, 1, and 2 for those films as well. And pretty much by 2015, actually, I think pretty much, actually I'll go back a little further than that. Pretty much around 2013, you get the news that Lucasfilm, kind of
There's a CP further
creators
down the
of
highway. Clear
Star
any
Wars
enemies on the
itself,
highway and
pretty
secure
much,
the area.
was eventually bought out by Disney, which I don't know, at that time was definitely a very controversial decision.
Right behind you.
Especially from a person like George Lucas, who really stated that he wanted the next generation of filmmakers to take over the Star Wars brand.
Take out that super!
Which, I don't know, give or take, there's some good feeling and bad feeling about it, which I don't really discuss all that much, because pretty much it's really all about corporate greed and
Now
stuff.
secure
But
Hangar 10, and we'll send in a
then,
dropship to
a couple
back you
years
up.
later,
General Obi-Wan has landed on this level. He should
Force
be able to
Awakens
help you
comes out.
troopers quite a bit.
Force Awakens comes out in theaters,
Here. I've engaged the enemy.
which I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, essentially, I was relatively glad that a Star Wars film was back in the limelight, and of course you get the fanboys that pretty much get all pissed off about it. Probably hear a motorcycle in the background. Window open for a moment. And, that's the subject at hand. Force Awakens was very good. I was actually somewhat surprised about how really good it was. And certainly, J.J. Abrams, the director of
By the Force, General
Star
Grievous is
Trek,
stationed in
Star
Hangar
Trek
10.
movies.
Take him out before he wipes out our forces.
And of course, there's this battle with Grievous, which Grievous is actually relatively easy to beat down because Jedi.
Grievous is retreating.
Yes,
Well done.
four
There's some
lightsabers
AA guns in
at
Hangar
his
10 that are
disposal.
causing our flyboys quite a bit of trouble. They need you to destroy those
Very
guns.
powerful.
Then they're going to land the heavy support units. Nice work. Destroy the other gun and Hangar 10 will be ours.
That's pretty much,
Although I'm leaving,
pretty much by
Force will
the
be with
time
you,
that
always.
the 8th film, The Last Jedi, comes out, pretty much this video will be released a good 7 months old. As it will be released sometime in December. I can't remember what date it was. But Also looking forward to Christmas holiday.
Stand by for heavy support
Please.
unit, soldier. Tanks incoming. Now, soldier, destroy that energy tower.
Anyway. But as far as bad ranking goes, I'd say it's pretty much at that time I thought the 7th film was easily better than the prequels. Easily. But as far as how good it was compared to the original trilogy, I still would put the 7th film behind A New Hope, the 4th film. As far as that goes. I've done about 26 minutes of narration. Be back sometime around 1:30. That 1 hour 30-minute mark. Possibly, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to talk about, but I'm pretty sure I can definitely come up with something to
For the Republic,
talk about.
we are victorious.
So I'll be back in just a little bit.
With the death of General Grievous at the hands of General Kenobi, the Utapau raid had broken the back of the Separatists. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a time for celebration. But our next orders put paid to those thoughts. What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was. During the waning hours of the Clone Wars, the 501st Legion was discreetly transferred back to Coruscant. It was a silent trip. We all knew what was about to happen, what we're about to do. Did we have any doubts? Any private, traitorous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not on the flight to Coruscant, not when Order 66 came down, and not when we marched into the Jedi Temple. Not a word.
Tonight the fall of the Jedi is at hand. We have been directed by the highest authority to wipe out the insurgent Jedi Order that threatens our great empire. Our first objective is to capture the Council Chamber. Lord Vader will be our field commander. Let's keep the cheddar low and move out.
Fixing turret. Lead on. For the Chancellor!
They're all over!
On your 6. On your 6.
On the sides!
Watch your flank!
On the sides!
Keep up the assault!
Look out!
Attention troops, double time to the library. The Jedi are attempting to destroy the library's holobox. In direct defiance of command. Stop them.
Watch your flank! Now get off! Roger that.
Stop the destruction of the Jedi holobooks. If you can keep at least one of the bookcases intact for at least 2 minutes, Command can scan the contents of the library.
Take down the Jedi! Good shot! Good throw!
They're all over!
Check your fire! Don't let the Jedi get too close. Keep up the assault! I'll fix this turret up right. Take down the Jedi!
Efficient. Your next objectives are a pair of holocrons, rumored to contain the sum of Sith and Jedi knowledge. The first one is located on the comm room. Retrieve it and bring it to the veranda.
Watch your flank! Flank the Jedi and take him down.
They're all over!
One shot, one kill. Got it. Grenade! Grenade!
Take out that turret.
There he is, near the Star Chamber. You must defeat this Jedi and bring this holocron to the veranda drop-off point.
Don't let the Jedi get too close. Come on!
Medic!
Excellent progress. With the last of the holocrons secured, we can deal with the remainder of the Jedi here. Execute the 3 Jedi Masters who have poisoned the minds of their impressionable students against the Empire. Let them bear witness to the cost of rebellion.
Watch out for those lightsabers. They're flanking us! Keep up the assault! Good shot!
They're coming around!
Well done. Our new Emperor will be pleased. Primary mission objectives complete. The Jedi Temple has been secured.
With the fall of Coruscant and the elimination of the traitorous Jedi, Palpatine's rise to power was complete. In recognition of our service and loyalty to the Emperor, the 501st were placed under the direct command of Lord Vader. Armed with deadly new weapons, blazing new ships, and shiny new armor, our presence let the galaxy know that the days of the old Republic were well and truly over. We were establishing a new era. An era of order and peace. During the rise of the Empire, the Emperor's home planet of Naboo rapidly established itself as a major irritant. After a number of Naboo's ambassadors were sent home in various states of dismemberment, her newly elected queen broke off diplomatic ties and began exploring military options. Clearly, it was time for a regime change. A change that would be effected by the 501st, now under the direct command of Darth Vader. Our orders were simple: to infiltrate the city, take out their leader, sending a clear signal to other potential troublemakers in the Empire.
Welcome to the capital city of Theed. Tonight, we will be performing a radical destabilization of the Theed government via the elimination of their queen. She is heavily guarded in the central plaza by a group of Jedi and an auto-turret grid. In order to defeat these defenses, we must set up a perimeter around the central plaza and shut down the auto-turret grid. Careful, soldier. Your numbers are few, and the mission's success rests on your shoulders.
Watch your flank.
They're all over! Take out that officer! They're all over!
It's easy when they're stupid.
Now it's on to the Embassy Plaza. Move out.
Affirmative. Watch your flanks. He's coming around.
Watch that turret.
Watch out, soldier. The auto-turret grid is still online. Keep you and your men out of the central plaza until we can find a way to shut down the turret grid. So far, so good. Now capture the guard post past the embassy. If you need some extra firepower, we've managed to sneak a tank for you at the embassy command post. Use it wisely.
Back shot the one 13-minute mark of this video. I actually did figure out something to talk about here. This will be probably one of the first time that I will actually defeated in this story mode. I'm quite saying a lot because I didn't really fail. Most of the public missions in this part of the story. Pretty much from here on out, eventually it gets pretty difficult. As I will eventually be defeated a few more times throughout the duration of this video. Let's see here. Probably talk about some of the legacy of Star Wars and why it's really stayed forever linked into the pop culture aspect.
Excellent. Now we must destroy the auto-turret grid console, clearing access to the central plaza. Destroy it, and the Queen will be ours.
The biggest theme that pretty much the whole notion of Star Wars is that it's really essentially the story
personal Jedi bodyguards have broken from the palace.
between good and
Destroy
evil,
them.
which is easily definitely pretty cool into itself. And you get the Jedi, who are pretty much guardians of peace and justice throughout the galaxy. Then you have the Sith, who are, in a certain point of view, possibly the bad guys, pretty much the ones that seek power, to seek dominance, and to destroy the Jedi. And it's kind of really, essentially, kind of a interesting story to tell. And pretty much they use this little invisible thing called the Force, which gives the Jedi and the Sith their power. And you can definitely make a certain case about what the Force is in a real life aspect of it. And pretty much really the closest thing that you can really talk about is possibly the whole idea of quote-unquote God.
We're almost out of reinforcements.
Probably gonna get some flack for saying this, but essentially God is really essentially is like the Force. It's neither good or bad. It's
the Empire. The Queen and her royal guard are trying to escape.
It's just that.
Quickly,
I mean, it's,
you must eliminate the Queen at all costs.
I mean, it is what it is. Pretty much, it's this thing that ties all living things together. And definitely non-living things too as well, such as rocks and stuff, but it's definitely that, so it's definitely remained pretty true. Yeah, skip that part, because
welcome to the capital
defeated.
city of Theed. Tonight,
This particular
we will be
mission is
performing
not
a
really
radical
all that
destabilization of the Theed
enjoyable to do.
government by the elimination
There's
of their
there'll be
Queen.
plenty of other missions
She is heavily guarded in the central plaza
are not so fun
by
to
a
do
group of
as
Jedi
well.
and an auto turret rig.
To
In
go
order to
later.
defeat these defenses, we must set up
So
a
I definitely
perimeter
think
around the
it's
central
that
plaza and shut down the auto
particular
turret.
thing that
Careful, soldiers.
drives people,
Your numbers are few,
that keeps
and the
people
mission's
linked
success rests on your
into
shoulders.
the whole Star Wars thing.
Now it's on to the Embassy Plaza. Move out.
The whole notion of this invisible thing that you can argue definitely exists. You can definitely argue that it doesn't exist, but it's certainly there. I mean, you're not even sure exactly what it is, but it's definitely hard to really. It's definitely very hard to not argue against it. I mean, it is what it is, you know? So I think that's that. But going back to my other point, that whole good and evil thing, that's just to elaborate on, but it's the whole fact that pretty much at any choice that you make can eventually change who you are. I mean, just look at Anakin Skywalker, pretty much as a young child. He was pretty attached to his mother, and
So far, so
essentially
good.
the idea of being a
Now,
Jedi
capture
is
the
to
guard
let go
post
of
past the
certain
embassy.
emotions,
If you need some extra firepower,
such as
we've managed to
fear,
sneak a tank for you at the
fear
embassy
of
command
losing your
post.
mother or anything like
wisely.
that, which which I can understand Anakin's point of view. Pretty much it's hey, you have your mother. That's really it. It's definitely hard to really give up on that certain connection, because pretty much his mother, Shmi Skywalker, is really there from his birth to pretty much the day when he was
Lead on.
taken with Qui-Gon Jinn as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then the Naboo guard as well. And really, essentially, throughout the entire history of the Jedi, the whole idea is to try to take children into the Jedi Order at a very young age before they can.
Now we must destroy the auto turret grid console, clearing access to the central plaza. Destroy it, and the Queen will be ours. The Queen's personal Jedi bodyguards have broken from the palace.
Yoda,
destroy them.
The first film in Phantom Menace, that he states that Anakin. He asked Anakin, "Does he feel cold?" And then Anakin says no. And he does say that he misses his mother. And then Yoda kind of elaborates, "Do you fear losing her?" Which,
watch out, soldier. The auto turret grid is still online. Keep you and your men out of the central plaza until we can find a way to shut down the turret grid.
What does that have to do with anything? Yoda pretty much claims it means everything. And it's fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. And which really, that can be really true in every bits of life, not really just Star Wars.
They're trying to flank us.
I mean, you can just really look at human throughout the whole notion of human history. Pretty much anything that leads to fear.
The Queen and her royal guard are trying to escape.
Hate.
Quickly, you must eliminate the Queen at all costs.
Hate.
Right behind you.
Hate leads to suffering. Probably the closest example for that is I can think of is Queen here is very squirmy, very difficult to kill. The closest thing that I can really think of to that
We're almost out of reinforcements.
Hitler, like Adolf Hitler, and essentially with him, necessarily know exactly the whole backstory of why he feared the Jews and like that. But he eventually grew anger against the Jews, and then
you have performed a great service for the Empire.
Hated
the Queen's death will serve as an example to other nascent rebellions, saving countless lives.
Eventually led to suffering. That's why might not be really that great of an example, but you can really look at human history and point to the whole
With the
notion
Queen
of fear
eliminated, Naboo quickly
and the
fell
dark
in
road
line.
it can lead to.
It was the first time the 501st was called upon to adjust a planet's government. But it wouldn't be the last. Within months, the 501st gained a well-deserved reputation as Vader's fist.
And certainly you can make the case for really today, in today's world, post 9/11 world, the notion of fearing fearing the Muslim or fearing the Christian.
Although the Clone Wars
fear of
were
religion.
over, some people never seemed
well.
to get the message.
That
The worst case of denial was Gizor Delso, a Geonosian separatist who'd somehow escaped Lord Vader's efforts to wipe out the remnants of the
fear.
CIS. Lord Vader tracked him to
fear
Mustafar
of the whole
and brought
notion
us
of
in to
what's
finish the job.
eventually that fear
It seemed like a simple enough mission.
Muslims, Christians,
When we saw the fleet of droid ships
Hindus
hovering over the planet,
can lead to.
we suddenly realized that Delso's denial
It's actually kind of very
mechanisms
scary.
were a little more dangerous than we'd
Unfortunately,
imagined.
pretty much as far as I know, there aren't any Jedi on the planet Earth or any Sith on planet Earth that would
Sir,
be
the
very
droids have
dangerous.
landed on our ship. We can't launch our
Force can
fighters.
be a very
Calm down,
dangerous thing.
pilot. Get out there and destroy that
Indeed.
transport. Use any means necessary to clear the hangar.
Scramble reinforcements. Repeat.
And
Scramble all reinforcements.
also another thing that I do think that doesn't really get brought up a lot in the world today is the whole notion of
Scramble
war
reinforcements.
within
Repeat.
oneself.
Scramble all
As
reinforcements.
Priya, the second Knights of the Republic game would point out that the true war is not fought with robots or machines, guns or weapons, but the true
Now
war
hear this.
is
All
fought
hands man your
within
battle stations.
oneself. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that's probably stayed within
Now hear this. All hands man your battle stations.
that is the fight between good and evil within oneself.
All right, men. Now get into your fighters and give those
Example
droids all
that
you've
is,
got. Destroy
if
their
you've
fighters
ever
and
seen
bombers.
a-
Watch out for the asteroids, pilots.
If
They're
if
easy
you've
to
ever seen,
destroy,
like, a
but that doesn't
cartoon
mean
or
they aren't
anything like
dangerous.
that, you get
Now
a
hear
character
this.
with
All hands man your battle stations.
a devil and
Take that bomber down.
beside the character's shoulders. Pretty much one entity telling that character one thing while the other is trying to tell
Recon bomber behind you.
another thing as well. And that was like some about like sword
Scramble
mastery or
reinforcements.
something like that.
Repeat. Scramble
Really
all reinforcements.
Back up.
Take out the droid. Watch it. Spider on your tail.
So definitely think that's really think that really brings the whole
Radar non-operational. Switching to manual.
the legacy of Star Wars is. And of course, really in an early age,
Recon bomber behind you.
I think Star Wars does a pretty good job with showcasing the kids,
Copy that.
the little kid demographic, especially boys, especially.
Aft engine overheating.
Tying the whole notion of using swords and stuff, using force as well.
Get that
I
scout.
definitely think the toy market really helped Star Wars where it is today. I can remember getting myself one of those plastic lightsaber toys. And of course, I had a green lightsaber.
Take that fighter down.
I got the double-bladed lightsaber that Darth Maul used in the
Target that fighter and take him down.
Phantom Menace. Which was definitely pretty cool. And then I think I also got some of the mini figures.
Attention all pilots. Attention all pilots.
Prepare for takeoff.
Target that bomber and take him down.
Toys. I think I got like 3 of them.
Careful, there's a recon bomber on your
D2 one
stick.
that had the Death Star throne room.
Engaging pursuit fighters.
I think the C-3PO
Engaging
had
pursuit fighters.
the Rancor pit. Return of the Jedi.
Time for some fancy flying.
Because I have the R2-D2 one.
Attack their shields. Use a bomber to deliver the maximum damage.
Radar non-operational. Switching to manual.
Actually, I think it was probably Darth Vader that had.
Now hear this. All hands man your battle station.
Chase down that fighter.
R2-D2 ones.
Aft engine overheating.
That was that.
Take out that bomber.
The Lego Bionicle. I got that as Christmas gift as well.
Lord
Like
Vader's just issued a new
Bionicle
order.
of,
He wants someone to land in the enemy's
Trade
hangar,
Federation
steal
droid
one of their strike bombers, and
that
return it to our
that
hangar.
you had to
Get moving,
assemble
pilots.
by hand.
Target that bomber.
Kind of really fun build. Really fun to build. Toys that I have, other than the video games that I got. I think for Halloween I was Darth Vader.
All engineers,
Vader
report to the hangar area.
growing up in the 90s.
Excellent job, pilots. Lord Vader will be most pleased.
But I think that was like only 1 year. I'm fairly certain I still have his mask somewhere in my parents' house. Somewhere.
The slight whiff of nostalgia the 501st had enjoyed fighting the droid fleet over Mustafar had already grown sour by the time we'd established orbital positions. Now it was time to find out what this was all about.
The toys themselves were quite a major sale that really kind of drew kids into Star Wars, and eventually as they grew up they kind of watched the films again, and then they kind of realized the deeper themes that the films would.
By the time we'd made our way to the molten surface of Mustafar, it was apparent that Delso had been a busy little bug. All by his lonesome, he'd found a previously hidden droid factory, fired it up and cranked out his own private army of battle droids. Needless to say, this got the men of the 501st a little hot under the helmet, and not just because of all that lava. Truth be told, we'd all had our fill of those gearheads during the war, and we couldn't stomach the thought of going through another one. So we blew them up. Blew up the droids, blew up the factory. Damn near blew up the planet.
We could also talk about Rogue One, since I did right.
All right, troops. Today we stamp out final remnants of the CIS. Eventually we'll be blowing up a hidden droid factory. But for now, we need to infiltrate and secure that nearby mining facility. Move them out.
Released back in December of last year, 2016. And really essentially that, pretty much, it's...
Take control of the lava observation room.
Eventually that the rebels would get the Death Star plans, but how they actually got it was actually really quite extraordinary.
Terminate them.
A little bit less predictable than Return of the Sith. The fact that eventually Darth Vader would lose his hair burnt up his body. And I guess the whole transformation of the Emperor was kind of interesting. How he eventually became this kind of this cool-looking grandpa dude into a wicked monster. That's
Take
really
control of the walkway.
Kind of a good term that I should use for the Emperor.
Watch out for snipers!
Cool grandpa looking
Keep
dude.
moving.
Sniper spotted at 2 o'clock.
Sniper gets me. But seeing Darth Vader pretty much fight at the end of that particular film was really, really worthwhile. I mean, him showing the badass that he is something that the original trilogy doesn't really show all that much. It kind of showed Darth Vader really being the docile, evil villain. And you don't really ever really see his aggressiveness all that much until you really get to see the lightsaber battles with Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first film of the original trilogy, Hoth, and lightsaber battles with his son, Skywalker.
That collection base looks like a good place to make a stand.
And Empire
Capture
Strikes
it.
Back, and as well as Return of the Jedi.
Somebody take out that turret!
And also, I think I actually forgot about this point as well. It's the whole lightsaber battle thing just always enticed me, and definitely say for certain that definitely enticed
Get the droids!
as well.
Get the dart now!
We've got silver! Check your fire!
And, I think the whole notion of sword fighting has always been such an amazing thing to watch. I mean, if you ever watch any, like,
We are being flanked.
especially any Errol Flynn old videos, like films like Robin Hood and what was the one that I can't remember.
Any droid we don't destroy today will come back to haunt us tomorrow.
Essentially that
Wipe
kind
them
of,
out. These
kind of
Geonosians have been working on a
can't
new
be
Confederate
swordplay.
infantry prototype.
Kind of
Destroy the
definitely kind of
schematics
brings up
before
to
they can
mind
use
as
them
well.
to build a new droid army.
And it's kind of also the notion of samurai swordplay that kind of really comes into play as well. The whole idea of Star Wars is homage to the samurai, and it's kind of rather cool as well. Kind of rather cool as well. Some more grenades so that I can destroy blueprints for, droid bound prototype. Essentially, the Empire doesn't want to deal with another war on its hand.
One of our boys got killed bringing the other beacon. Go out and retrieve it.
Kind of this in-between point before A New Hope and
Get that beacon to the central antenna.
This is not even really close to 2012 one. But I'm running out of things to talk about for this particular instance. Let's see. I think I started this on the 1:30 mark, pretty much close to the hour.
Fall back to the
2.
collection base and watch the fireworks.
So probably
Super battle droid!
Probably at the
Screening box!
probably
Kill
at
them
the
all!
2 hour 20-minute mark. I'll start this again, and then we'll talk about probably talk about kind of like I think what should happen next in film series after the film is done. Just kind of relatively an idea. Just some ideas that I have about that. So I'll see you guys in 2 hours and 20 minutes in this video.
Watch out for bugs.
Geisor Delso has been defeated. Scratch 1 droid rebellion.
They're trying to flank us.
The destruction of the mining facility put an end to any thoughts of a second droid rebellion. For the first time in years, the man of the 501st could relax and get about the business of maintaining an empire, rather than building one. Officially, there never was a clone rebellion on Kamino. Unofficially, approximately 20 years after we were created, a special detachment of the Imperial 501st Legion was dispatched to Kamino with orders to eradicate an army of clones that had been bred to take arms against the Empire. Our mission commander, an expert on the inner workings of Kamino, was a young bounty hunter named Boba Fett.
Boba Fett has been chosen to lead a small task force into the Kamino Cloning Center. His familiarity with the center's layout and access codes should give us the element of surprise.
Fett on the job.
Attack that trooper!
Get that trooper!
Watch that turret!
That's another one.
Before we leave, the Empire wants us to collect some DNA samples from our evil brothers.
That's another one.
Get that sample back to ship immediately.
Man, he's fast. Affirmative.
DNA sample secure. Pulling ship back to a safe distance. Good job. Now take that CP and await further orders.
He's coming around. Check your fire. Watch your flanks. Cover. Take down fence. Turret, take him down. They're flanking us.
I'm done. When do I get paid?
You know your objectives. Destroy the computers keeping the Kaminoans' clone pods alive before they can create any more traitorous anti-troopers.
Said on the job. That's another one.
Check your fire. Take down the traitors. All of it. They're coming around. Save it for the enemy. Watch your flanks. Stormtrooper, take him down. Objective complete. Clone pod life support down. They won't be cloning another army anytime soon.
The Kaminoans are evacuating in 5 minutes. Take down their transports before they can escape.
Boba Fett! Friendly fire!
I'm done. When do I get paid?
Target the trooper! guess the last we'll be seeing of those guys. I sure hope so. Somebody take out that turret!
The bounty hunter left after the battle was over. He said something about tracking down a smuggler on Tatooine. After the Kamino uprising, the Emperor decided that an army of genetically identical soldiers was too susceptible to corruption. Future troopers would be cloned from a variety of templates. Though the 501st itself remained pure, the rest of the Imperial Army gradually became more and more diverse. We never really got used to the new guys. Once it was finally finished, the Death Star was the Emperor's favorite toy. It was also the most boring assignment in the galaxy for a stormtrooper. Tedious inspection drills, endless hours of guarding impregnable force field generators. Things got so bad that when a prison break erupted in the cell block, we were almost happy to have someone shooting at us again. If only we'd known what an embarrassing snipe storm we were about to wade into. We probably would have jettisoned the whole detention block into space.
Attention, Hangar 84G. There is a prison riot in progress. A contingent of the 501st is inbound from an exterior inspection. Join up with the squad mates in the hangar and quell this riot. Rebel forces are converging on Hangar 84G. We cannot allow any of them to escape. Defend the hangar.
Take out the Wookiee! I'm still dead. Watch where you're shooting! Get the rebel! Go! Get the Wookiee!
Take out the officer! Get the rebel!
He's coming around. Watch it!
Take out the imp officer!
I'm still dead.
They're flanking us!
Get the Wookiee! Get the rebel! Take that, scum! Check your fire!
Go! Get the Wookiee!
Hangar 84G is secure. The riot originated in cell block 2180. Get up there and secure that cell block.
Watch your flanks. Watch where you're shooting! Good shot!
One of the rebels managed to get his hands on the plans for this battle station. We cannot allow those plans to leave this outpost. Dispatch the rebel carrying the plans and return them to our forces.
Watch those blasters! They're coming around! They're flanking us!
I've got your 6. Sniper!
Watch those blasters!
Well done. The plans have been secured. The prisoners have captured the fire control room. You must not allow them to damage the main cannon.
I'm not the enemy!
Die! Bringing you down, plastic boy.
They're trying to flank us. Right behind you.
Watch those blasters!
Watch your flank. Watch where you're shooting!
The fire control room is ours. The rebels have infiltrated Hangar 85G and are preparing to escape in one of the shuttles. Get to the hangar and take out that shuttle before it takes off.
Hey! He's coming around.
Take cover!
Bang! Wookie! Oh!
Officer, take him out! Go! Get the Wookiee!
Well done, Trooper. No one escaped the Death Star. Troopers, there is a Jedi in the TIE hangar. He is the source of this rebellion. Destroy this man. Now!
Sniper! Don't get up! Taking you down, plastic boy!
Alright, I am back. There's some more narration for you good people here. As I'm pretty much trying to deal with the struggle with trying to defeat this Jedi here. This rebel leader, so to speak. But pretty much as I said before, all I talk about is a little bit about I think the next trilogy in
the rebel leader has
Star
been
Wars film
destroyed.
series should happen
Our
after
reinforcements
they
can take it from here.
finish up with
The uprising
episode-
has been crushed.
Episode
Well
9,
done,
which
Trooper.
I believe
Lord Vader will
come
be
out
most
in
pleased with your
2019.
performance.
And these are pretty much relatively just ideas that I have for what should happen.
After the embarrassment of the prison break, Lord Vader removed us from our comfortable belay and began dragging the 501st across the galaxy in a dangerous hunt for the now missing Death Star plans. Ironically, our punishment eventually proved to be our salvation. The poor souls who took our place in the detention area were completely wiped out when the Death Star was destroyed.
So these are really just essentially just ideas that I have in general for what should be the next film series. And I'll just let this guy talking here some more.
By the time of the raid on Polis Massa, the
rebellion.
men of the 501st were starting to get a little sick of this so-called rebellion. In the past, we'd secretly enjoyed putting down a local insurrection or two. They kept the troops sharp and the Empire feared. But these rebels were different. They were organized, they were growing, and they were everywhere. The raid on Polis Massa was a perfect example of how things were starting to fall apart. We were supposed to go in, wipe out a small band of rebels, and recover some stolen Imperial plans on an encrypted holodisk. Before we knew it, we were nearly overrun by rebel forces, with the holodisk nowhere to be found.
All right, men, Lord Vader wants this raid done by the book.
Fun to do.
Our first objective is the comm center,
But-
just beyond this hangar.
Pretty much after the 9th film is released, and soon
Watch your flank.
2019.
Hostile dead.
About 2 years from now. I'd like to see
like that.
See Star Wars go back. I'd like to see a trilogy for the Knights of the Old Republic era, which I'm sure quite a few people would love to see. Kind of how Darth Revan, the plays of Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Darth Traya come about into play on the silver screen. I think that's the whole notion of that would definitely be very, very appealing. Just to see kind of what Star Wars would be like without Darth Vader, Empire, before Qui-Gon Jinn, before the collapse of the Galactic Republic.
Nicely executed, troops.
What it would be like.
Now it's time to make our way to the base command building on the far side of the facility. If our intelligence is right, along the way we'll find a rebel holodisk containing some very important plans.
As who I would choose, I would probably say.
Target that Hoth!
Hard to really say. It kind of would be kind of interesting to see how well.
Take out that sniper. Don't get up.
I don't even know if we could really play it really good. Darth Revan, like as far as Mac would go. I mean, Darth Revan was pretty tall looking, muscular, as far as I remember from playing the games. The guy was really, really masculine. I don't know, maybe I could possibly see Tom Hardy playing as Darth Revan. Darth Revan himself.
Great.
Definitely has that
Get the Wookiee on the side.
Watch your flank.
muscular edge to him that you don't ever really see in today's Hollywood. He definitely has that kind of that little anger, definitely that kind of anger inside of him. Let's see, Darth Malak. I could say possibly Tom Hardy playing as Darth Malak as well.
It'll take time to realign the comm dish and transmit the data from the holodisk.
Darth Malak
You'll
was
have to
pretty
hold off the
vicious.
rebels until the transmission is complete.
Vicious as well.
Do
He
not
was-
let the comm facility fall into enemy hands.
I mean, he had that kind of like that mouth guard thing.
Wookiee! Get the rebel!
Because pretty much the most of his mouth was pretty much destroyed. I don't even know. I don't even remember when, but what happened to him. But so I can definitely see Tom Hardy playing those guys. As far as Bastila would probably go. Very, very feminine, very headstrong, very stubborn.
Try not to waste it.
I could possibly see that one actress from Rogue One,
They're trying to flank us.
Felucia Day.
Fall back.
Because I definitely could see her being as a pretty good silver screen version of Bastila. Sorry,
Look where you're shooting!
Felicity Jones. Yeah, I could definitely see her do that. And I apologize, I thought it was Felicia Day, but apparently there's a difference between the two.
in the caverns of this complex.
Massey.
The rebels have a data bank that holds Imperial encryption codes that can be used to eavesdrop on our ship-to-ship
Robert Downey
communications.
Jr.
Make your way to the caverns and destroy the data bank.
Watch your flank.
As either Anne Rand or Cartho Massey. Though probably Cartho Massey would be probably more of a definite possibility because Robert Downey Jr. definitely has the beard going for him with Cartho Massey, so I could possibly see that happening. I think what else was on Canderous Ordo. Definitely a very muscular, tough guy, as the Mandalorians were at that time in Star Wars history.
They're flanking us.
Take him out.
Actually, I could possibly see The Rock. I could possibly see Dwayne Johnson playing as Canderous Ordo, but Canderous Ordo was Caucasian, but I don't know. I think The Rock would definitely pull off a pretty good Canderous Ordo. Definitely very muscular. And I can't really think of anybody that can really do Canderous Ordo very well. Possibly Dave Bautista.
Copy that.
And one guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But let's see here. Darth Treya, or also known as Kreia. I could see.
Lead on.
I don't know. Definitely an old woman, but she definitely has a very manipulative side to her. I first thought it would be Glenn Close, but I don't think most people would definitely think that would be not that great of a cast choice. But that can hurt to say.
Squash the skull. I'm going after the imp officer. On the sides!
Mitra Surik, you could definitely see.
Watch those blasters!
Felicity Jones doing her Mitra Surik.
Trooper!
Okay, also you don't see Tom Hardy playing Darth Sion. Definitely a very chaotic character. But that's just really essentially kind of just ideas of exactly what could be explored. Could be explored, certainly in the next possible trilogy. I mean, I'm not exactly saying for certain that should be the whole notion of it, but I would definitely pay top dollar to go see a KOTOR trilogy.
They're all over!
So I eventually finally take down.
I've got good news and bad news. The good
Napoleon
news
thing.
is it's time to get off this dreary rock. The bad news is
And this
the
is
rebels have taken over the hangars.
Started in this
You'll have to fight our way out.
mission's one of the most difficult. Not the most fun. As far as the content, I'm just for certain I could see one film delving into the search of the star maps, the adventures that Bastila, Revan, and the rest of the crew in the first KOTOR game would find themselves into. He's trying to search for the star maps as well, and then you could see like another film of Malik being reintroduced to Revan, and then Malik kind of gives Revan the truth about who he is, and that could be really essentially one film into itself as well. And then the third film dealing with the Star Forge, as well as the final battle between Master and Apprentice. Darth Malik versus Darth Revan, as well as the final choice that Revan makes to either save Malik or kill him. Actually, I don't think you can actually even save Malik. But eventually, Malik does eventually return back to the light side for just a bit, then he dies. But I don't know, I could see a trilogy happen for that, but as far as the second KOTOR game, it's really difficult to think about. I mean, I could see possibly maybe a film or two, possibly about Mitra Surik, talking about her adventures into exile, how she eventually came to exile, and then eventually how she kind of returned back into the fold just before the events of the eventual fall of the Harbinger. I could see that happening, but I think there's, as far as I know, there's very much a film that will be
Our raid is a success, and even though the holodisk didn't have the plans we're looking for, it will lead us to someone who does.
I think there should be a film of the adventures of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I definitely feel that there could be definitely a film for those two Jedi.
Even though the Polis Massa raid was only a partial success, we finally had a lead on the whereabouts of the Death Star plans, which suited the 501st just fine.
Definitely for those two Jedi would be a very, very cool story. Definitely a cool story to do. Then I guess possibly they could do a trilogy for the events after Return of the Jedi.
With the information gathered on Polis Massa, Vader concluded that the stolen plans had been given to Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan. We weren't surprised. For all their talk of being a peaceful planet, Alderaan had been thumbing its nose at the Empire for years. After a brief and pointless battle, we boarded the ship, the Tantive 4, over Tatooine, began looking for the plans, and waited for Lord Vader's arrival.
Alright, now we're pretty much into
Lord Vader has tracked the stolen Imperial plans to Ambassador Organa. Retrieve the plans and bring the ambassador to Lord Vader.
Fourth film.
Alive.
Pretty much easily dispatched.
Squash the Skunk.
Those rebels
that turret.
Down the hall there. Definitely a very epic part of the first film.
Fire. Don't get out.
But yeah, I could definitely see movie based on young Qui-Gon Jinn, or even a very young Yoda as well. Something like that could possibly definitely appeal to probably a female audience based on how young, cute Yoda was, or is. I don't know. and just is really spewing out ideas and stuff. I don't really have anything relatively concrete to say. But I don't know, if you ever read some of the novels that were set after Return of the Jedi, those ones are definitely also very worthy of possible project to do, because things kind of take a turn for a very interesting course for Luke as well as the Emperor. But I mean, those novels have been out for quite a while.
Head to the tech room.
I'm not really spoiling anything for that.
This is Lord Vader.
And thus comes in Darth Vader himself. For really essentially the first time in this game, and pretty much in the movie itself.
We'll need to take out the security mainframes on the bridge before we can gain access to the rest of the ship.
Vader! Let's find our way around. It's a sniper.
2 hours, 40-minute mark. I think I'll probably stop the narration here. Or just, probably just some moment here.
Watch that lightsaber!
And then probably return pretty much around 3 hour, 15-minute mark. I'll probably return. Give the narration for pretty much the rest of this movie.
Feel the power of the dark side.
Finish that as well, so I'll be back in about 3 hours and 15 minutes in this video.
We need the ship's access codes to gain entry to the escape pod areas. Make your way to the engine room and retrieve them from the security terminal on the 2nd floor.
Watch your flank. Take out that rebel scout. Roger that.
Disable the turbine to clear our way to the terminal. Take the access code to the tech room terminal. Nice work. Now let's clear those rebels out of the escape pod bays and secure the rest of the ship. Princess Leia must be captured before she can escape.
Your strength is nothing compared to the dark side.
Sniper! Watch that lightsaber! Princess Leia!
The day is ours. Well done, gentlemen.
After Lord Vader took custody of Princess Leia, we all figured it was just a matter of time before she coughed up the plans. Many of us had been unwilling witnesses to Vader's powers of persuasion in the past. The thought of a pampered little princess resisting his terrible will was inconceivable. By the time we landed on Yavin, whatever shock we'd felt at the destruction of the Death Star had been replaced by anger. For months we'd treated the rebellion like a disobedient child, only to be repaid for our tolerance with treachery on an unimaginable scale. Frankly, I don't remember much of the fighting. I guess we won.
Okay, you all know the mission. The Rebel base is located in that ancient temple over there. Our first job is to take the Rebel command post located in the ruins of that stone fountain just ahead.
Right behind you.
Take out that tank.
He's coming around.
Rebel scum this. Take!
Our next objective is to capture the command post under the viaduct. Gather your forces. It'll be a tough slog.
Right behind you. Roger that. Vehicle ready to go. Watch it, sniper. Roger that. Check your fire.
Watch those blasters! Take out the Wookiee! Stormtrooper! They're flanking us!
Take out the Wookiee. Whoa!
Incoming!
For the Empire!
Nicely done. Now rush the reflecting pool. It will make a good staging area for the assault of the temple.
Watch where you're shooting!
I gotta fix this turret up.
Watch your flank. They're trying to flank us. Copy that. Roger that. Watch your flank.
Target the turret.
Take him out!
The rebel counterattack could start at any second. Defend the reflecting pool with all your might.
Working on the turret.
What does the Empire have to do to secure a victory on this accursed planet? Okay, you all know the mission. The Rebel base is located in that ancient temple over there. Our first job is to take the Rebel command post located in the ruins of that stone fountain just ahead.
Tank! Watch those blasters!
Right behind you. Hold on.
This guy's a double, right?
Down! Incoming!
We need to take out that turret!
Look where you're shooting! Return fire now! Nice finish, Cooper. For the Empire!
Yeah, that armor worked real well, didn't it? Fall back!
They're trying to flank us.
Our next objective is to capture the command post under the viaduct. Gather your forces. It'll be a tough slog.
Copy that. Roger that. Grenade! I've got your six.
On the side!
Medic! Grenade! Friendly fire!
Copy that. Roger that. For the Empire!
Nicely done. Now rush the reflecting pool. It will make a good staging area for the assault of the temple.
Watch your flanks. He's coming around. Bang.
Take out that officer! Wookiee!
Take that, scum. Take out the Wookiee. Down!
Hang on, let me fix you up.
Watch that turret. Watch your flanks. Take out that rebel scum.
The rebel counterattack could start at any second. Defend the reflecting pool with all your might.
They're trying to flank us. Take out the Wookiee. Check your fire.
On the side! Fall back! Stormtrooper!
Watch your flank. scum! Copy that.
Well defended. Now it's time to breach the security door on the temple. A unique breaching bomb has been left at the point marked on your map. Retrieve the bomb from its drop-off location and place it near the temple security door. The bomb has a 10-second timer, so you better start running as soon as you set it.
They sent in tanks! Watch your fire! Sniper, take cover! I'm going after the imp officer.
Right behind you. Fire on that fighter tank.
Trooper! Stay dead!
Look where you're shooting!
Stormtrooper!
There they are. Decapitate the rebel command. Vengeance is ours, men. The spirits of our fallen brothers will sleep soundly tonight.
After the battle, the surviving members of the 501st finally caught their breath. The Empire had taken the rebels' best shot and come up standing. Now, it was our turn to strike. No one ever complained about the cold on Hoth. We never felt it. Even though we were blinded by blizzards, we could see the final end of the rebellion in our blaster sights. Was it only a mirage, perhaps? But on that day, on that planet, our blood ran hot with dreams of victory, melting the ice that stood in our way.
There is no tomorrow, men. Today we crush the rebellion once and for all. You know the orders. Destroy the shield generator in preparation for Lord Vader's arrival. Next, focus all efforts on preventing the final transport ship from lifting off. We'll begin by taking over their Outlook command post. Move out.
Watch it! Watch those blasters!
Get the rebel! Making repairs to the turret. Sniper, take cover! Lead on. I'm still there. Watch your flank.
Where's the sniper?
Watch your flank.
Squash the scum.
Watch it, sniper! Beginning turret repair. Get the rebel!
Nice work, men. Now let's capture their forward bunker.
Watch where you're shooting!
Think that armor's gonna help?
Somebody take out that turret!
AT-ATs incoming! On the sides! Sniper! Take cover!
Attack that throat speeder! Take him out! Roger that. They're trying to flank us.
You blind?
On the side! On the sides!
Great shooting! Sniper, take cover!
They got ATSTs!
merely exhausted.
AT-AT's on their way. Friendly fire!
The Empire does not look kindly on defeat.
On the sides.
You have wasted an entire brigade of Imperial troopers, and have cost the Empire its most important battle. There is no tomorrow, men. Today we crush the rebellion once and for all. You know the orders. Destroy the shield generator in preparation for Lord Vader's arrival. Next, focus all efforts on preventing the final transport ship from lifting off. We'll begin by taking over their Outlook command post. Move out.
Sniper, take cover!
They're all over!
They're all over. Watch your sides.
They're coming around! Watch this blaster!
Vehicle repair complete. Take out that rebel scum. Hostile dead. And stay down. Blue speeder coming in. Making repairs to the turret. Watch your flank. Rebel, take him out.
Yeah, that armor worked real well. They're all over! Snow speeder coming in.
Nice work, men. Now let's capture their forward bunker.
Take out the officer.
Attack that snow speeder. reinforcements are nearly exhausted. Defeat is not acceptable. Fight harder.
They've got ATSTs.
You have wasted an entire brigade.
Fucker.
Take out that sniper. Rebel shield generator has been reduced to rubble. Ready the ground troops for the assault on Echo Base.
So, as you can probably already tell, this last mission was not the most easiest ones to do, but once you kind of really realize it, my frustrations kind of got the best of me. Really, essentially, the best thing you can do is to capture, by capturing command posts, is just to stay in the AT, big guy. So just approach the command post pretty relatively close, and just relatively go from there. But I'm not really gonna see not a whole lot left in this video here. Probably about 15 or 16 minutes left of video time, but definitely totally understandable that they decided to use the planet Hoth as the final mission for the story mode game. Probably the difficult part of actually playing the story mode is that you only get so many reinforcements to back you up, and essentially if you run it down to zero, then pretty much it's game over. You get a defeat, and then you have to start the battle all over again. But I didn't really lose all many battles. I mean, there was that first time in Naboo, but that was kind of a last minute kind of fluke. Definitely more of a fluke. But I didn't really decide to do narration in this during the recording of the game because it would have probably messed up my voice pretty quickly.
Watch your fire! Medic!
Mouth would have been pretty dry, but
Watch those blasters! They're flanking us!
But yeah, pretty much I never really did do the sniper class pretty much relatively at all during the playthrough of this story mode. And kind of the reason why for that is the fact that you only have so much reinforcements to back you up, and you couldn't really spend too much time scoping out enemy soldiers and kill them. But if I ever do the multiplayer in this game, even though GameSpy for this particular game has stopped multiplayer support for it. But I believe you can do it. But I believe you can actually do multiplayer for this game if you download Game Ranger. I think that's what I use. Also has other games as well, such as Warcraft 3, Age of Empires as well. First 2 games, if I remember right.
Now take out the security console in the command center to gain access to the back hangar.
On the hangar,
Destroy the final
can actually
transport
finally
before it can escape.
get
Excellent
to
work,
be
Lieutenant. Now
Darth
inform Lord
Vader.
Vader.
As this
Meeting my master.
particular mission isn't complete yet. Pretty much as the movie pretty much talks about, eventually Darth Vader goes much more deeper into the Hoth base of operations.
I've got your stick.
The rebel shields are deactivated. Moving on to capture the back hangar in preparation for our assault on the rebel transport ship.
I think Darth Vader will definitely do the sniper. It's actually somewhat fun to play as a sniper, especially much more in the more
Your strength is nothing.
open area maps, such as Geonosis, Hoth, especially this map. Especially this map mode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy my longer videos of Knights of the Old Republic 2. And I essentially did those videos as well as the narration pretty much all in one sitting as well. Pretty much the narration was included in there as well. And
Almost had that rebel scum.
I did that, so that'll be
Acquire the beacon and place it under the
released
transport
as
ship.
well as this on
Command
the
will use the
25th
coordinates from the beacon to launch a
May,
massive attack
which
from above.
was
Failure is not an option.
the day when the first Star Wars film came out. Was originally Star Wars, entitled Star Wars.
Now protect the beacon while we lock it in
Changed to
current position.
Star Wars episode 1, A New Hope, and then eventually episode 4.
On the side.
As well, and that. Just wait for this bomb to blow up. And then once that bomb goes off, pretty much it will be pretty much the end of that transport ship, which I only assume would have Luke Skywalker in there, possibly, maybe, I don't know, because I think Leia and Han Solo eventually would get onto the Millennium Falcon as
Our
well.
attack on the transport will begin
But
momentarily.
this story mode, it doesn't really hold up to the films as well, but it works out just fine. As the guy will eventually talk more.
As the rebels fled, the 501st gathered around a burning bunker
Droid ship,
and let out a
pretty
cheer
good.
that shook the stars. The rebellion was done. The Death Star was being rebuilt bigger than ever. Order had finally returned to the galaxy, in no small part due to the efforts of the fighting men of the 501st.
And then pretty much we get into the credits. So hopefully you guys enjoyed all these great and wonderful videos that I uploaded. And I don't know if I'll do more with this game. It's kind of really relatively up to me if I wanted to do more of it, but yeah, pretty much all my other projects pretty much will continue on. I think pretty much still have to record videos pretty much for the 23rd, 24th. Then I'm pretty much relatively all set for the 25th. Once I upload this as well. And this will be pretty much the longest video that I've done thus far. Pretty much the one previous to this was that not that Fallout, but the Portal ASMR video that I uploaded back in February. And that was about 2 hours long. This will be over 3.5. Pretty much over 3.5 hours. Pretty insane. Pretty insane stuff. But pretty much got all those other projects to work on as well. But as far as that goes, pretty much I still have to get to 777th for that video special to get to, as well as that. But I don't know, I think I might do some little special as well for if I get 6,000 subscribers. Once I get 6,000 subscribers, excuse me, then I'll do something possibly for the 4th of July as well. Possibly do something along the lines of what I did for Christmas. Just do like hour-long videos of my current projects of that particular time. So I have that, but that's not going to be 4th of July. Is not even a little more than a month away. Still plenty of recording left to do, so. But I think I'm really gonna just stop the narration here and just let the credits finish up what they're doing as well, and I will see you guys next time. And until then, as always, may the Force be with you. Always.